All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to your weekly take on the market. I will be your host. My name is Scott St. Clair. I am the manager of the Premium Product Group here at Investors Business Daily. Make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Please take a moment to read the disclaimer. I'm not licensed. Can't tell you what to buy, what to sell, what to hold, what to hedge, etc. Okay, we'll do the market indices. I don't have a whole lot today. I almost didn't do a video because I know we had a little volatility in the market, but in the end, I just don't think the market went anywhere. So it's kind of a non-event. You have some areas of the market that seem a little frothy, and maybe the fraud has come off a little bit, like quantum stocks. So we'll look at those, but not a whole lot really has changed with the market, in my humble opinion. I did see this one screenshot on Twitter, and I believe this is from Nassim Taleb's book. I don't remember which book it's from, but I remember seeing this chart in his book. I thought it was classic. I love this chart. It reminds me of some stocks, like they go, and then out of nowhere something bad happens, like these bank stocks, and then they break, right? And so this is 1,001 days in the life of a turkey. Everything is rosy. You're being fed, everything's good, and then in one day, whack, it's all over. So just kind of a cute chart to keep in mind how quickly things can change. So let's go ahead and pull up the indices. And here's the NASDAQ. And I know somebody was saying they wanted to draw the trend lines that I had drawn. And it looks like this is still doing that. You can't draw, you'd have to draw it on like the ETFs. If you draw it on the QQQ, let me stop. Don't do that. So I'm using a PC. I'm holding the control key down in the bottom left corner of my screen, and I'm just dragging the mouse across. It creates this temporary red line. If I hover my mouse over it, you'll see the little finger will show up. Right click, set alert. This is an alert. So the QQQs break that downtrend to the downside, it'll go off. I'll get an email alert. You could do the same to the upside like this. So I love trendline alerts. I use almost all my alerts in market search or trendline alerts. So we're still in this channel. Nothing's really changed. You had a really bad day here. And then just typical, it's really hard for the market to stack on a couple bad days in a row. So here's a bad day there, and then they catch it. Bad day there, they catch it for a minute. Then you actually got two bad days here, but then you get a reversal bar there, and you get two really bad bars there, and then a big bar there. It's just the market just doesn't like to go down. The bottom line is it's a bull market, doesn't like to go down. So you have to keep that in mind. Doesn't mean you always have to be invested, but you got to keep that in mind that if you're nervous about it and you're thinking, of when to step to the sidelines or anything like that, I think you want to really let the market like here, like, look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 days down, a day up, barely up, 5 days down, right? So you start to get some weakness stacking on the weakness, which tells you there's supply there. So I just don't see that here as we sit here now. Here's the S&P, and we're still in this channel until otherwise noted. Gold looks pretty toppy, frothy, whatever you want to say. That's incredible volume bar there. I don't know if there's some kind of reason for that. But gold's on everybody's mind, and it's made a huge move. I think it's credible that gold has outperformed the S&P for like the last 5 years, for the last 10 years, last 20 years, I think, is when I saw these charts. In fact, let's pull it up. Let's compare it. So here's GLD, and then we will add in the SPY. And this is for trailing 12 months. just trounced it. How about for the year? 1/1/2025. Gold's up 60%. I just don't know what the message is that gold is sending. Maybe there's no message there. I don't know. It seems like there's going to be a message. How about since the bull market low? So let's just do March 1, 2009. So that, you know, if you cherry pick it perfectly, the S&P is outperformed. But I think somebody was saying like in the last 20 years. Yeah, look at that. Since 2000, twice. How about if we include the bull market ending? So let's go 12/30/1999. Still. So that looks very top heavy. I don't own any gold stocks. I don't own any gold. I don't want to short it, that's for sure, because I'm afraid there might be something going on, reason being, but food for thought. Let me turn off my camera so you can see the charts better. Here's Bitcoin. So it's undercut all these lows. It's making like 1, 2, 3.5 month lows. It looks like maybe you have the potential for a reversal here, something like that. So when it, if it were to start to get back up to there, it'd be probably a pretty good shakeout. And then Ethereum, I think, not quite undercutting 3-month lows. So this is where a lot of the money is, and the animal spirits are there. So it's interesting to see if the market, if this got whacked, would the market hold up? My gut instinct is no, it would drag the market down. But let's see. I think that should do it as far as the indexes, NASDAQ, Dow. How about we look at the Dow and the Russell? So the Russell made, I don't know if it was here or here, but I saw that it was like an all-time high. And then being what the Russell does, as soon as it does that, it goes down a couple days in a row, but not doing anything wrong. And the Dow, this looks like the weak sister. So if you feel like getting short, every time I feel like getting short, I short the diamonds, I short the Dow, with, you know, 0 success so far, but maybe one time it'll work. All right. Good trade, bad trade. I don't have anything. I have a very quiet week, actually. I didn't do a whole lot. And in fact, I'm almost all cash as we sit here now. I have one long and I think I covered I don't have any shorts. I just felt like taking a break and just cleaning the clean sweep broom, I think they call it. And I'll reevaluate this weekend and start from scratch on Monday. I just didn't see any compelling reason to be long or short in this environment. So I'm really on the fence as far as what to do here. And if the year ended tomorrow, I've had a pretty good year. I could have had a better year. I could have had some really good stocks, but my execution on some of them hasn't been all that great in hindsight. But if you had told me, hey, Scott, you're going to be up X amount on January 1st, 2025, you can be up X amount for the year, I'd have said, done. Give me that number and let's go straight to 2026. So let's look at some stocks, the leaders, etc. So I think Hood is, you know, one of the first ones out here. So it's definitely the leader. And I don't want to read too much into it, but you know, it's already what, 12% off the high, maybe 15% off the high. It did get a little bit of support today, but Hood looks tired. So this is definitely one to watch. Palantir, another one to watch. I know it's building this base. This park, okay, it is kind of a really lousy cup with handle. This is so sharp. It looks like a box with handle. So Palantir would be the other one to watch. Obviously, NVIDIA. So it tried to break out, and I'm not gonna say it's failed yet because it hasn't got into the loss zone, but it is down slightly. You've got like Amazon, which doing nothing. Google. Actually, Google looks really good. Never been able to handle Google very well, but this one looks really good. It's holding up really well. Meta. So you've got this flat base, kind of a base on base. Tesla, I think Tesla was up today at one point. Yeah. Tesla looks actually doesn't look too bad. It's holding up really well. Um, I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, Apple had a good day today too, but I just don't know if there's anything there just yet. And last but not least, I guess we can look at Netflix doing nothing. So they've kind of run out of steam. They're not doing a whole lot, but they don't look broken by any means. I guess if you forced me to pick the worst one, it would be Amazon. Okay, so on the more speculative heat side, you've got Oklo, which let's look at the weekly chart. So a bit of a reversal, but hard to read into that. I think it's super extended, but you know how I feel about that word extended. It's the what's the right word? There's not what's the right word for extended to describe how I feel about extended. Gobbledygook, I guess, would be the first thing that comes to mind. It doesn't tell enough of a story. That's my problem. You've got the quantum stock, so IONQ, and it's made a huge move. I don't know. I mean, I just it's hard for me to know on these. They look a bit tired, but boy, I would have said that here and here and here. So eventually it'll be right. But if you say it 7 times, what good is it? Rigetti, it's gone up so much you can't even see it on the chart. So I gotta squeeze it down here. Let's look at the weekly. Looks a bit like Oklo, right? Like it just kind of ran out of steam. So they ran out of steam a little bit. And so they'll be, I don't know if they'll drag the market lower if they just stop going up, or maybe the market just moves on to the next one. It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. The banks, so you have Jeffries, which I apologize. I said I've covered all my shorts. I did not cover my Jeffries short. I wish I had yesterday, but I didn't. I am still short that. I forgot. I don't know. We'll see if something's wrong here. I think so, but I want to see more downside. Is it KRE, the banking? So you get this really bad break here and up 3 days, or up 2 days anyways. You get really bad and then it's up. So again, they just have a hard time going down. If there's something was really wrong, it should kind of cascade. And I'm not saying it can't still, but so far, no. As far as like others, this is holding up really well. Aluminum. Well, no, actually, I did buy this a couple times and put a tight stop and got stopped. So trying to buy it off the 10-week line. Looks close enough. But because I'm kind of sketchy or skittish on the market, I put my stop too tight and got stopped twice. How about the Chinese stocks? I thought about buying BABA today, but you get this bad break and then just a little blue bar, and it's not close enough to the 50-day. So if this was here, I would have bought that. I would buy that and take a chance. I still think it can get there, so I'm gonna wait, right or wrong. Is there anything else that you've got? Did I talk about crypto? I did. So MicroStrategy, relative strength 16. Not doing a whole lot, is it? How about the uranium stocks like UEC? So this looks a bit tired. UUU. Yeah, they look a little bit more tired to me than the quantum stocks. CCJ. And I don't have the SRUUF in the database, unfortunately, but that's the physical. It ran to like 20, maybe even 20 and a half. And then it just can't stay up. And it closed today at 18.15. And I just don't understand the action. I feel like it should participate and it's not. So I was in that for half a minute too. A platinum. So gaps up, I guess. I don't know if it's continuous contract, but kind of a bad day today. And probably with a weakness in gold is maybe the dollar was up, but this gold is holding up the best. We didn't look at silver. So yeah, it's just so hard right here. That's why I think this video is going to be so short. I just don't know here. I just don't know. And I think if you don't know, the best strategy is just to watch and play it really close to the vest and wait for a sweeter spot, so to speak. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Okay, so quote of the week. Do a YouTube search, Druckenmiller interview 2009. I think you'll get this interview. It's long, but it's so good. I could have grabbed so many quotes from it, but I love this one. Contrarian investing is way overrated. It's intellectually cool to not be with the crowd. So there's a lot of talk about the bubble, whether it's an AI bubble or the market's in a bubble or crypto's in a bubble. And I have my opinion of it, but in the end, it doesn't do you any good to trade your opinion. So you have to be careful with that. You trade what you see, not what you think. So, but he said it's intellectually cool to not be with the crowd, but the crowd makes money 80% of the time. It can be a rough ride if it's very crowded. So that's interesting because it can, you're going to get some bounces, some shakeouts along the way if it's crowded. And so a lot of these trades, like quantum is crowded now, gold is probably crowded, crypto is super, super crowded. That's why you had that shakeout that one day that got all the, I don't want to say all of them, but it knocked out of the box a lot of those people that were using leverage for their positions. The main thing is you have to be disciplined, you have to be unemotional, and to me, the really great ones, and to me, those are the really great ones. I think that's what he says. And I was chopping up what he said because the quote was so long, but it basically says you have to have courage. You have to play really big when the opportunity's there. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I just don't see any opportunity. I like to play big, so therefore I'm not going to play. But there will be another chance. I don't know if it's going to be a long side, short side, sideways side. I don't know what stocks it's going to be. But think about where we are today in October compared to what you thought of the market in April. And I don't remember if I mentioned this on this video or not. I don't know, but it was so funny because I stumbled upon a text thread with a friend, and sometimes the iPhone will scroll all the way up, like you have to scroll all the way down or close the thread. I don't know why it does that. I don't know what I'm pressing to, but it jumps all the way to the top. And I saw what I said to him in April, and I apologize because we text a lot. Let me see if I can find it. And now, of course, there's somebody at my door. Anyways, think about where the market was in April and where we are now. And think about what you thought of the market in April and what you think now. Because basically what I told him in April was stocks just can't go up. They just can't go up. He wanted to buy stocks, and I was like, well, they just can't go up. Every time I buy them, they go down. And how quickly and differently that has been and that has changed. So Play big when you get the opportunity. I don't know if there, I don't believe there's any opportunity here, and so I'm not going to play. 800-831-2525. Sorry, I got to run. Marcus Surge at investors.com. That's somebody working on my house. I told him I was doing a video. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you later. Bye.